Well, good evening, YouTube, and welcome to another episode of the Albino Rhino beer review. Today, you have the Rhino, and we're looking at a beer. Today's beer's down here. It is from Bancroft Brewing Company in Bancroft, Ontario. Bancroft, a very small place. Actually, Bancroft is where my wife lived some of her formidable years. She was basically North Bay, Bancroft, and Arnprior before going to Welland, and I was all over the Ottawa Valley, be it Ottawa, Renfrew, Arnprior, and then I ended up in the Niagara region, and we started dating when I was in Niagara Falls, and she was in Welland, and then we did our tour of the Arctic, and now we're in Regina. So hey, we've been all over, and that has nothing to do with the beer. The beer was sent to me by Brian. Thank you very much, Brian. And again, this beer is from Bancroft Brewing Company. It is Bancroft Brewing Company's Blueberry Wheat Ale. I think that's a little redundant. I think your blueberry wheat would tell me it's a wheat ale. It is 5.8% alcohol by volume, which is pretty high for a wheat beer. I do not know if I need to Weiss roll this. It says crisp, bold, and semi-sweet. 18 IBU. It contains wheat and oats. Manufactured by Bancroft Brewing Company at 4 Hastings Street North, Bancroft, Ontario. Me and the kids, and when I say the kids, I mean straight out of the Canadian Shield. When I say the kids, I mean myself, Alicia, Annika, and Declan went to Bancroft Brewing's restaurant in Bancroft. And we were actually in Bancroft solely because Otis was purchased from a breeder outside of Bancroft in Bolton, Ontario. And yeah. What do we have here? 5.8. And okay, so that's the same. I've had 4 friends tap it in, and it has a 4.13 out of 5 overall from them. 776 people have tapped it in, and it has a 3.57 out of 5 overall. What do we have here? A play on our popular Wavin Wheat. This seasonal beer has a smooth and mellow mouthfeel that is complemented by its distinct natural blueberry flavor, topped off with a clean and crisp finish that you only get from using premium malts and fresh water from the Canadian Shield. What do we got? First one of my friends that tapped it in was Jason K, and he gave it a 5 out of 5. Andrew gave it a 3.5, Jen gave it a 4.5, and James gave it a 3.5. And this time I only actually had 4 people tapping it in. There wasn't anyone that is in the industry that didn't want to give a rating that tapped it in. So let's go and take a look at this. Now, it did say natural blueberry flavor. Now, my question is that from blueberries or is that from natural blueberry flavor? Because 2 very different things, right? One of them will be blueberry-esque, and the other one will be like Astro yogurt. Well, the SRMs answered my question about which one it was. Oh wait, I don't know. Is that? What the hell is that in my glass? No, it's not moving, whatever it is. I guess that's a good sign. Oh no, it was on my glass, I think. Yeah, it's just on my glass. Okay, I'm okay with that. Oh, it's a chip. There's a chip in my mason jar. Intriguing. Okay, so I was saying the color kind of gives it away that it's not really blueberries, but at the same time, that is a little darker than I'd expect. It is hazy like it should be, but it seems to be a slight bit darker, almost to an orange hue. So it could be just a very minimal amount of blueberries. but I do think it is like a natural blueberry flavor solely because I can smell the Astro yogurt from here. Out of the glass, it's just some Astro yogurt with a little bit of maltiness. Out of the can, my lord, is that sweet. Cheers, let's try it. Okay. So, there was this crafty beer from the States that was owned by AB InBev, and it took a lot of digging to find out it was from AB InBev. But they made a blueberry beer. And tasted very blueberry-esque, but very sweet and fake, but it was with natural blueberry flavor. This reminds me a lot of that. I think they were like Blueberry Shadow. Oh, I don't remember. They made a few different fruit beers. I'd have to go look it up. But it was a crafty beer, and this reminds me very much like that. However, it is very drinkable. The blueberry flavor is beautiful. It does have that blueberry yogurt, pre-stirred blueberry yogurt, not the fruit on the bottom. That's why I always bring up Astro, because whenever I'd get Astro, it'd be the one where you would open it up and the yogurt's kind of that purpley color because it's all stirred already. It has that type of flavor to it with that kind of silky mouthfeel. However, you do get some maltiness, you do get some breadiness. On top of that, it reminds me of a time in my life that I was really... it reminds me of a time in my life when I was in that middle ground. I wasn't at the point where I hated everything in life and wanted to take myself out, but I wasn't at the point where I was ecstatic. And me and the guys would go out to places like the Merchant Ale House, and they had a blueberry beer. And what they would do was they would float actual blueberries in the beer as well. And there's a few breweries that have done stuff like that. I believe one of them was at my festival, Hometown, I believe that was their name. And this reminds me of those type of beers where you would put the pieces of fruit in the beer to add to it. And drinking this beer, it tastes a lot like the Merchant Ale House's blueberry wheat as well. And that just reminds me of a time where I was a little happier than a few years after that. And I appreciate a beer that brings back some good memories, and this one does that. If you don't like the flavor of blueberries, or you don't like the flavor of natural blueberry flavoring, this isn't for you. If you do like blueberries, but you're not huge on beer, you might actually enjoy this, but if you do like both, you should really enjoy this. Being a wheat beer, it has that heavier mouthfeel. It's actually quite an experience. I can't say that I'm really a fan of the smell. I like the can. The can tells me what it's going to do, and it's doing what it says on the tin. And I like the slightly older type of look for the insignia and everything, like the marketing on the can. I like the look of the beer. Really do. Not big on the smell. I like the flavor quite a bit. That's a solid flavored beer. Fuck, that's a good beer. That really is. Now, do I think it's a 5 out of 5 beer? I don't know. I guess it depends on whether or not I think that the sensations that come up with that memory is good enough for that mark of a beer. I don't personally know if I feel it is. However, I do personally know that I do like it and I would buy it again. Which tells you it's at least above a 7. Now, again, do I think it's a 10 out of 10 beer? Or 5 out of 5, like Jason thinks? I don't know for sure, nor do I really care. I always say that though I might, poke some fun at stuff, I don't really care what beers you like and what beers you don't like. If I hate the beer and you love the beer, that just means there's more of it for you, because I'm not ever going to buy it. If I love the beer and you hate the beer, I'm not going to I might poke fun at you about some things, but I'll poke fun at you in a good-hearted way, because in the long run, all that means to me is that there's more of it for me to buy. And there's more people that can experience it because you're not buying it. So it doesn't matter really if you like it or not. I always love hearing whether or not you like it. I've had everything from, actual good conversations about beers that people don't like to me not liking a beer and somebody saying, if I see you on the streets, I'm going to run you over. I've gotten all that. And that's the greatest part about the internet, right? All these people that will talk bad all the time because, hey, we're behind a keyboard, we'll do this. It's just like when somebody screams Santa Claus at me or comments Santa Claus here. The only times I get called Santa Claus is when I'm at work, because you can't punch somebody in the throat at work, or when they're driving by me in a car. If people don't know me, other than those 2 times, it doesn't get said to me. It's not like I'm in the grocery store and somebody's like, oh, look, it's Santa. Sometimes kids are like that. Whatever, that's okay. But no adult goes, oh, look, it's Santa when I'm at the grocery store just shopping. When I'm at work in my work uniform and I'm serving people, I get it. Or when you're driving past me in a car, you'll scream out the window as you go by. It's fun. It's fun, right? And so the internet just adds to that spectrum, right? It does. Who gives a shit, though? We're going back to the beer. What would I give the beer out of 10? Bancroft's Blueberry Wheat. I'd easily give it an 8.5. I really do like it. I would buy that again. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful evening. Au revoir. A bientôt. See you soon. Bye-bye. Polka dot.